Welcome back to Silent Screams, Loud Strength, the podcast. Today's episode is about a deeply personal and powerful topic, which is overcoming guilt and shame in healing. Guilt tells us we did something bad, while shame convinces us that we are bad. But here's the truth. You are not your mistake. Healing requires us to recognize where guilt and shame hold us back and learn how to release them with self-compassion. So understanding the difference between guilt and shame. Guilt equals I did something bad. Shame, I am bad. Guilt is a natural emotion that helps us recognize when we have done something wrong and gives us the opportunity to make amends. Shame, however, goes deeper. It convinces us that we are inherently flawed, making it hard for us to move forward. Here are some examples of how guilt and shame may show up. Feeling unworthy of love and success. Replaying past mistakes over and over in our head and in our minds. Feeling responsible for things we weren't able or we were not part of, or a fault that never lay within us. So avoiding relationships or opportunities because you feel you don't deserve or you are not good enough. So overcoming guilt and shame in healing. Guilt and shame are two of the heaviest emotions that can weigh us down in the healing process. For survivors of trauma particularly, those who have endured domestic abuse, these emotions often become deeply ingrained in making it difficult to move forward. However, understanding and overcoming guilt and shame is an essential tool for true healing. So how do we understand the difference between guilt versus shame? Guilt is the feeling that arises when we believe that we have done something wrong. It's often associated with specific emotions, actions, decisions. Shame, on the other hand, is much more deeper than that. It is the belief that we are inherently flawed or unworthy. While guilt can be productive when it encourages positive change, shame tends to erode your self-worth and your self-compassion. So why guilt and shame are common in trauma survivors? Survivors of abuse often internalize the false narrative imposed upon them by their abuser. They may feel guilty for not leaving sooner, for staying silent, for trusting someone who truly and ultimately hurt them. Shame creeps up in when they begin to believe they deserved the mistreatment, or that they are broken beyond repair. These emotions are powerful, but they do not define the survivor's story. So here are some of the options that one can employ to recognize and to overcome and to stop and overcome guilt and shame. So let's recognize where these feelings are coming from. The first step is to acknowledge that guilt and shame often stem from external influences. societal conditioning, manipulative relationships, or past experiences. You are not guilty. You are not a guilty. You are just not guilty as a survivor. You are not guilty for surviving either. And your worth is not diminished by what happened to you. I'm going to say that again. You are not guilty for surviving, and your worth is not diminished by what happened to you. That's what they want you to believe, but that is not true. So we need to challenge these negative beliefs and replace them with self-compassion. So replace self-blame with self-compassion. When your thoughts of guilt and shame surface, question their validity. Ask yourself, would I blame a friend for being in a situation like this? If the answer is likely to be no, so why would you blame yourself? So practice self-forgiveness. Healing requires self-forgiveness. Understanding that you made the best choices you could with the knowledge and the resources you had at the time. Forgive yourself for what you did or did not do, and focus on what you can do right now to reclaim your life. It's what you can do right now to reclaim your life that counts towards practicing self-forgiveness. Speak your truth without fear. Shame thrives in silence. Finding a safe space, whether through therapy, journaling, or speaking with a trusted individual, allows you to express your experience and strip away the shame of its power. Speak it, write it, mention it, call it, and surround yourself with positive people. Healing is not a journey to be taken alone. Seek out people who uplift you and validate you. Support groups or a therapist and friends who understand your journey can help you to process your emotions in a non-judgmental environment. Learning to reframe your story. You are not a victim, you are a survivor. Every experience you have endured is a testament to your strength. Instead of seeing it as a past source of shame, recognize it as a chapter in your story that has made you wiser and more resilient. Engage in healing practices, meditation. You can do that alone or in an environment where you go through guided meditation. Journaling is an easy tool to embrace. Yoga is very therapeutic, and therapy are also powerful tools to help you release the guilt and the shame. These practices encourage self-reflection and promote emotional balance, allowing you to heal holistically. Embracing the future without guilt or shame. Healing is a journey of self-discovery. It requires work. By shedding guilt and shame, you make room for self-love, acceptance, and empowerment. You are not defined by your past. You are defined by your courage to rise above it. You deserve peace, you deserve healing, and most importantly, you deserve to be free. So loose yourself from shame that keeps us stuck. Shame is one of the biggest roadblocks on healing because it convinces us that we are beyond repair, and it can keep us silent in our struggles out of fear of judgment, cause us to sabotage, believing we don't deserve happiness, reinforces unhealthy cycles like people pleasing, or all sorts of actions that call us to be imperfect. We are not imperfect, though, therefore we don't deserve, to compensate for feelings of inadequacy. Healing begins when we recognize that our past does not define our future, really. So we need to acknowledge and take steps to stop and let go of the shame and the guilt. It's not easy. It's doable. It's practice. It's accepting where you are, acknowledging where your guilt and shame forms. Ask yourself, are these feelings truly mine? Or have they been placed on me by others? Challenge the negative talk. Replace self-criticism with self-compassion. I am not good enough. You say, I am learning and growing every day. I do not deserve happiness. Of course you do. I am worthy of love and healing. You make amends when necessary, but forgiveness, regardless, begins with you. But forgiveness of yourself is more important than anything else. Forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. If your guilt comes from hurting others, take responsibility, apologize, and make amends. If the guilt comes from trauma, release the burden. You were never meant to carry it. It is not yours. So practice self-compassion daily. Speak to yourself in the way you would speak to your friend. Engage in activities that bring you peace and joy. Surround yourself with people that uplift you and support you. Affirmations that are good for releasing guilt and shame. For example, I am not my past. I am my potential. I forgive myself for the things I didn't know before I learned them. Healing is not being perfect, but being real with yourself is the most powerful affirmation you can practice on a day-to-day basis. You are not your mistake. Always remember that. You are not beyond healing. Remember that too. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who needs encouragement. Don't forget to like it, to share it, and buy my book from Amazon, Healing Within, which gives you practical steps and tools in practicing self-love, compassion, affirmations, and guided meditation. Until next time, thank you.